Senator Ted Cruz joins me now. Senator, it's great to have you on. Clearly, the Democrats understand that Hispanics are very dissatisfied with the Biden-Harris 4 years, and they're willing to throw a lot of money to win them back.
Well, that's exactly right. But I'll tell you, we're seeing in Texas and we're seeing all across the country, Hispanic voters moving right. I think we have an historic opportunity to earn the votes of Hispanic voters. My campaign, my Senate reelection campaign, we've announced a $4.5 million ad campaign focused on Hispanic voters in Texas. And I got to say, as a Latino, our values are fundamentally conservative. You look at the values that resonate in the Latino community. They are faith. They are family. They are patriotism. A lot of people don't know the demographic with the highest rate of military enlistment in the United States is Hispanics. Yeah. And the most powerful ethos, I believe, in the Hispanic community is the American dream, coming here and seeking your freedom. I think about when my dad fled Cuba and came to Texas in 1957. He'd been imprisoned. He'd been tortured. He came here with nothing. He couldn't speak English, and he washed dishes making 50 cents an hour, but he was filled with hopes and dreams. And I'll tell you, the Hispanic community is feeling the brunt of the failures of Kamala Harris's disastrous policy agenda, whether it is inflation that is hammering Hispanic families or whether it is the devastation of Kamala Harris's open borders. We are seeing historic numbers of Hispanic voters moving right. I think they're going to vote for Donald Trump. I think they're going to vote for my reelection campaign in Texas. And I think this is a generational shift that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I can relate to that story. My father was a shoeshine boy when he was a child. And I do notice that when Democrat activists go into Hispanic communities, they hide who they are. They don't talk about abortion. They don't talk about school choice. They don't talk about any of the things that Hispanics care about. They literally have to lie to you in order to get you to vote Democrat and not show who they really are. Now, 3 million have been naturalized. 3 million new immigrants have been naturalized since Joe Biden was elected. Does that worry you? What kind of concerns do you have about this new wave of and the speed with which they're naturalizing these citizens?
You know, it doesn't worry me significantly because I see an enormous difference between legal immigrants and illegal immigrants. There's a right way to come to this country. You follow the rules, you stand in line, you come here legally. Ronald Reagan referred to legal immigrants as Americans by choice. And I think Republicans are going to do very well with the people who followed the law and come here for the right reasons. And I'll tell you this open borders under Kamala Harris, the border czar. 11.5 million people have invaded this country. One community that gets just left out in the cold by that are the legal immigrants. They've paid a lot of money. They've hired lawyers. They've done it right. And they're looking at these people just flagrantly violating the law, being given handouts by Democrat politicians. And I'll tell you, in many instances, these illegal immigrants are going into Latino communities. Many of them, tragically, are violent criminals. We are seeing every single day Americans being murdered by illegal immigrants that Kamala Harris has released, children being assaulted, women being raped by illegal immigrants that they've released. And I think that's front and center in the presidential race. It's front and center in my race because Colin Allred, the left-wing Democrat running against me, agrees with border czar Kamala Harris on an open border. And that's why millions of people are going to my website, tedcruz.org, and supporting my campaign because we've got to defend our nation.
Senator Cruz, thanks for joining us tonight.